So if you didn't watch the part one stream, get out of here, watch that first part so you can understand the second part, because I'm not going to start over. I'm going to actually begin where the last one ended. Okay, I would hate for you to be what, lost in the sauce. Okay, now what I was doing on the last video is I was comparing how things were with Miss Briana and her ex-husband at the time, and was comparing it to The Lion King, and that one scene in The Lion King was basically, my gosh, was basically Simba looking up at the mountains, right? He was looking up at the mountains. Babe, is this public? He was looking at the mountains and he saw that Mufasa was being thrown off, or he fell off of the cliff and things of that nature, right? And he thought that, hey, his dad just didn't make it. You get what I'm saying? But that is not true. Okay, Scar threw him off of the cliff. Okay, that's basically what happened. And now that, basically when he grew up, he realized, of course, after Scar said, he really did X, Y, and Z to Mufasa and things like that. He realized that Scar did it. Now, that's how I feel like when I came into this saga, because it seems like every time I talk about it, people saying you need to go and do your research. Research where? In the public library? What research is there? Half of the content that they did together. Can you make it public while I'm on here? Okay. Half of their content together, of course all of it has been removed from the internet, right? And just so happened I seen like a little clips here and there on YouTube about tumultuous things, and it had Sage on us in the city at the time. I don't know what happened to that person. What happened to the person who put that original content out? But anywho, I saw those type of videos. And then, of course, I watched videos, and then I watched all the content creators' videos and their take and things like that. I didn't know that Sir Robert is actually kind of manipulating the situation. His supporters are, basically built solely for him. They're not logical thinkers. They are literally being told what to say, how to say it, and if they don't say it, then their videos will not progress. I'm not saying that the people who speak for him or speak about him and take up for him don't have their own minds, but I will say that it is coerced. It says in the Bible that you really shouldn't believe, you shouldn't lie on people. And it's funny they say everybody else is lying. Well, everybody else can't be lying. And then I go by his fruits. I go by how he acts, and I just go by all the things that are happening around him. And I'm gonna tell you, everything that this woman said after their relationship cannot be a lie. Now, does he have a temper? Would you guys say that he has a temper? Yeah. He has a temper, and she does have a temper. I just got off somebody's page. They had actually posted that his sister, oh my gosh, and I heard it with my own ears, that his sister actually said, that she said something really, really bad. I don't even want to repeat it. I have to be careful. But I will say it's a lot of hate in his sister's heart. We're going to call her Dorothea. We're going to call her Dorothy. That's his sister, Dorothy. Okay. Dorothy has a lot of ill will in her heart for Ms. Brittany. Now, he says that he had problems. He has problems with his stomach, right? Right. That's what it was. He had problems with his stomach. Some people are saying that he had his stomach removed or cut down because of a prevention. Some people say he had the full Monty. I don't know. I'm not his doctor. I don't know. All I know is this: this man drinks like a fish. He drinks like a fish. His tolerance for alcohol was very high. However, it is not anymore. One of his videos that he went live on, it was obvious that he was inebriated. This is a new word, you guys. I think he learned it and now he's using it in my comments because somebody else said, "Oh, so you're saying he's already inebriated? Do you have those videos to prove it?" No. But on his live, his eyes were red, 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 like he had been crying. He was glassy as well, and things like that. Now, I'm not supposed to rebuke anything because I got to be careful because they say if you rebuke something, trust and believe that that thing is going to jump on you. I don't want it to be jumped on me, but I've been asking God to help this man with this issue with drinking for years. But guess what? It might be somebody here right now who has an issue with drinking and thinking, "Hey, we happy. Let's go ahead and drink." Now, I'm gonna tell you, it says in the word that when a man drinks, he is one of two things that's going on. First and foremost, he might be not well, or he just may just want to say see you later to everybody on earth. I'm just keeping it real. That's basically what the darn Bible says. So when you see somebody with, and I'm gonna let you know this, sir, Robert, every time I see you with a glass of wine in your hand, a glass of whatever, I'm gonna say this man is going through it. Okay? Did you guys know that alcohol is actually a depressant? It is not a stimulant. It's a depressant. That's why a lot of people like to come home and they like to have a glass of wine to what? Wind down. What does me? Who me, right? Should I give my name? Is it time to say my name? Because some people don't know who I am and some people do. But I want to say my name so I can say me. But you guys let me know. Do y'all want me to say my name or not? But anyway, what do I do to wind down? First and foremost, I breathe. Okay. Excuse me. That's a lie. Excuse me. God got me choking on that one. Hold on.
Someone just commented.
I don't breathe, y'all. I want to. Thank you. I want to breathe. I tend to breathe. But then I found out that yoga is devilish. So I'm like, am I meditating to the devil? I don't want that. So you meditate on the word, but I don't breathe. But I do try to like hold my breath for 5 seconds and breathe out. And it's very intentional. You get what I'm saying? But honestly, what I do to basically wind down is I do take a tea called Holy Basil. Look here, Sir Robert, you can go ahead because I heard you say Dr. Sebi. I heard you say that, sir. So I said, oh, he's into what? He's into holistic living. So let me go ahead into my holistic living cap. You know what I'm saying? And help this dude out, right? Because he got bad acne on his back and on his shoulders, on his bald head. He has cystic acne, y'all. You know what I mean? You may have it too, right? I had it. I tried to get it. My body tried, but I said, hold up. When that stuff start hitting your face, I said, oh no. At the time, I was always on camera. I said, ain't no way. I don't wear makeup. I said, we gonna have to do something. So I had to change up my lifestyle a little bit. I had to de-stress and stop eating bad foods. And I wasn't even eating bad foods. I think the biggest thing is I was just stressed out, man. I was just stressed out. And I know this man is stressed out. Why do we know he's stressed out? All right, let me stop ignoring this girl. Why are you coming for RH like you don't know the story? I'm not coming for him, Kiana. Kiana, who are you talking about? I'm talking my, look, what y'all say? I'm talking my stuff. I'm talking my stuff in God's name. Just listen. So anyway, or not listen. I really don't care. I really don't. Because God will bring me the right audience when I need it. You know what I mean? I don't care who's in here. So y'all may not like me. Y'all the only ones that type. I'm like, is this whole channel RH people? Boy, that was something. I didn't know that was going to happen, you guys. I really thought it was going to be like a mix. I thought it was going to be some Britney fans and some RH fans, but I know. Look, I look at the darn cover of this thing. This thing looks hot as fish grease. It is very appealing, right? It's red and black. The Truth Saga. His name has the truth in it. I get it. He probably went very far out and started like booking this channel and said, "Oh, this is going to be all about me." Sir, you don't need one more channel about you. Okay, there is plenty of people out here who are singing your praises. I know they don't. Their channels is named after them. Guys, if you're talking about this story, just name it after him, honey. He will really help you out. He will give you all the goddamn views and money and all the subscriptions you need. Just look, make a channel that is named after this situation. Okay, and watch, your darn channel will probably be at 1,000 viewers in a week. I'm serious because I was headed there. until they realize, oh, this is not pro RH. No, it's pro the real truth, nothing but the truth. But let me get back to what I was saying. So how do I know that he is not detoxing? First and foremost, alcohol is debilitating to the liver. What is the liver? The liver is a detoxing organ. So obviously his liver is crying out for help. That's why he got the sty. That's why he got the acne. I'm sure he's in here. One of his people are in here. If you really love him, please let him know that he needs to stop drinking, because the Bible says always pray for somebody about that. I'm not judging him. I'm not trying to make him feel bad, but he is still sober. Like, you can still talk to him. He's very coherent. Why? Because he recalled everything I said in my video. So he's not to the point where he's stuttering, or well, he was stuttering, y'all. Look at one of his lives. He was like stuttering his word. He was talking a little slow. His eyes were moving a little slow. So whatever he was doing on camera, he had already done off camera. So remember, when the cameras are rolling, what we saw on camera, like all the times that he called his wife a B, and then I heard his sister talk in Jesus' name. And this sister said, "Oh, she called Brittany all kinds of bees and all kinds of stuff." I heard it with my own eyes, y'all. I heard it with my own eyes. I heard it with my own ears, y'all. It was very sad and debilitating, and things like that. And I was very disappointed in hearing that women talk to each other like that. I follow crime shows. I love crime. I love true crime. I love, suspenseful movies and scary movies. But when I hear it in real life, it's very daunting to me. So the fact that Dorothy was talking like this, his sister, you get what I'm saying? I'm like, oh my gosh, what kind of family is this? And this actually explains why they send people to like different channels that doesn't agree with him and things like that, to say, oh, if you do this, you do that. So if you thought that I was going to bite the bait of you going live on social media, on YouTube, and take clips of you, I would never do that. I had warned everybody when Miss Brittany came over to YouTube. I said, be careful. Don't take her stuff, because just because you don't see the video doesn't mean the video isn't there. So because I'm going through my own issue with my own channel, because I actually took my own goddamn content and put it on my other page, and it was like, oh, it's repurposed. That's the only word I know, because I'm from FB. Okay, so yeah, it was repurposed. I was demonetized, boom, just like that, right? Which is fine, because I wasn't making money. And then I heard Server Bear talk about he can't play his own music on his channel because he'll get in trouble. So it's like we don't even own our own stuff here anymore. But I would suggest that don't use anybody's stuff on your channels, because just because I read that it is, even if it's private, it's still on their servers. So if you're putting up even a 30-second clip, a 60-second clip, and you're playing it, they can get you on a copyright or repurpose, or what they would call, I don't know the word. I'm sorry. What's the word? Repetitive content. Okay, so you've been warned, all the CCs out here, please make sure. Now, when you're live, I think it's different. I think live makes it automatically like different when you're sharing the voice and all that. I don't know. But I actually watched one of the goddamn people get an email about something right when she was live, and got in trouble because she had the word kid in her goddamn what is it, title, and then she was cussing up a storm in the content. They got some other thing on there saying that you can't mix children's content with adult language. I mean, they getting real buck wild up on this darn thing. So you people who want to sit here and not follow rules, they gonna get you coming to get you going. So we got, as content creators or people who are creating on YouTube, you gotta really follow the directions, and I mean really to the T, because some people actually live off of this app. I'm looking out for you guys, because I don't want that pressure ever in my life where I'm depending on this, because it's so tough. But it is people who actually are really living off of this content, and it would be horrible if you get something like that and you get demonetized. Honey, they don't even strike you no more. I don't know what happened with the strike system, but I've never seen it into my page. No, I have not. They don't give you warning. You just wake up to an email and boom, you're demonetized. But I'm just letting y'all know, be careful out here in these streets, because it's real furs out here. All right, guys, double tap the screen. Double tap the screen. If I don't get no more likes, that means everybody in here either doesn't know this story, or you guys are a bunch of scars up in here. You just want to sit here and see what I'm going to say about y'all King Robert. Okay? So let's see if I can get another like to the video, you guys. Go ahead and double tap the screen. But let me drink some water. Hold on, you guys. All right. So thank you for that like. My goodness. You got to work double time for something free. Can you imagine what it would be like if I actually got y'all to what donate to something? My lord, I would have to be really dancing up on this thing, honey. Y'all make me work for a like, and that's free. Anyway, through God, everything is what all things are possible, right? You know what they say? So it'll happen when it's time. But yeah, so I was basically in the beginning, of course, somebody saying do research. I don't have to be, do no research. It is what it is. Everybody came in. This whole saga was really developed to come against Miss Brittany. But y'all agree or disagree? Since it's all Mr. Robert people in here, for some reason, he is the only man on earth that's not blamed for a god darn thing. I am not used to a man being bigged up. Big upped. I'm not used to women calling a man a good father. Are you used to that, babe? I don't hear it often. This is the first in my life. Hello, game fam. In my life that I've ever heard a group of women, supposedly, because the verdict is out on that. It looks like what we think looks like a woman is really something else. I'm not going there. Please, Lord, please. I don't know about this, y'all. I really don't think that all of these women are big up in this man who left his wife and his child. Y'all keep saying he left her. Why did he leave her, RH Camp? Can y'all let me know? If I don't get an answer, that's my answer right there. Because I'm sure it's somebody in here who would love to talk. Look, I don't block people. I'm not immature like that. Just don't come at me wrong, because this is not about me. I haven't even given y'all my name, so you know it's not about me. It is not about me. This is about the story. Why did he leave his wife? Let's just, I want to see if somebody is going to answer that. Because quite frankly, I'm not understanding why. People are saying she stepped out of the marriage. That's what he said, right? But wasn't the marriage polygamy? You guys, y'all, this is your time to let me know. Y'all like to come under the replay and let me know. That's cool too. But I'm just saying, like, wasn't it based on him having multiple wives like his brother Kyle? Isn't Kyle a polygamist? Prince Uchi back in the day? You get what I'm saying? So how did Miss Brittany step outside the marriage if it's polygamy? Is it because it's double standards that a man can only shake off and do what he wants, but the woman's supposed to sit there and accept the bad treatment, the STDs, the extra baggage, the children made out of these darn awkward situations? The woman's just supposed to sit there and just watch her husband go out and cheat and look at other women and go. I mean, are we not having any kind of compassion because we're women first, correct? A woman usually, feels for another woman as far as I understand. No, I wouldn't want to just sit there. So she's like, look, she's from the game of inches, if you will. No, she's from the game of going on stage and parading around making $1. Right? She's from the game. She's cute, right? She looks like she is half Asian, half black, right? Sometimes I don't know if that's her real face, y'all. I don't know. Is she half Asian? Because her mom was very light sprite. My point is, she is a woman who feels like she looks good. Why should she continue being in a home where the man is going out on her? I see the comment, but I ain't reading it yet. You know what I mean? Why? Please respectfully talk to me. I'm a woman you can respectfully talk to. You're ridiculous talking to me sideways because I don't talk to you guys sideways. If you're sitting here listening to my commentary, you have to have more than emotions. Okay? That's why men are not supposed to be emotional. Men are supposed to be logical. And we all fall short. Meaning we all sin, we all fall short from the glory of God. We are not perfect. And I will not allow this man to continue to promote that he did nothing bad in that relationship. The marriage wasn't polygamy. He brought the idea to the table. If it's in the heart, baby, it's in the heart. It says it in the word. See, that was in his heart from the beginning, ma'am. Anybody who's listening here, she's giving the pain here. She's giving some tea right here. Miss My Dreamer, Dream Star, or whoever it is. Okay, I don't know if it's a male or female, but the marriage wasn't polygamy. He brought the idea to the table and she didn't accept it and he felt alone. He felt alone. Are you really trying to paint this man as a person who was let down? Oh, left it alone. No, no, he ain't leave it alone because it was in his heart. You get what I'm saying? It was in his heart. Why would a man of caliber, okay, since we know that he doesn't believe in God, so I can't say a man of God. I can't put a title on him that doesn't belong. But someone who has some type of well, without God, you have no goddamn scruples, you have no goddamn honor, you have no morals, and you have no ethics. So the man is unethical for asking his wife, who was already out in sin. She could have just stayed out there on the stage or went back because they said she wasn't dancing when she met him. She could have went back out there and just started shaking a leg and doing what she felt comfortable doing. Why did sis want to get married? If she turned him down, that says something about Miss Brittany. That says this girl has some type of sense about her. Why would she want to open herself up to STDs? Why would you want to bring somebody in your marriage, sir? That means you didn't love her. You didn't even love yourself because these good looking girls out here, they got good looking STDs. Oh yeah, y'all be making fun of BV and all those different smells, but baby, that is a sign that this woman is what? Unkept. You get what I'm saying? She can spread disease, even if it's not a typical disease. That's BV is can be STDs. Okay, it can be transmitted through intimacy. Yes, it can. Okay, and so who knows that? Hey, her husband could have given her BV. Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. How do we know that him wanting to be greedy? Because I'm gonna tell you, a greedy person, if you don't give them what they want, they just gonna go out and do it on their own. She said out of her own mouth, she said she shouldn't have stayed married to this man for 6 years. That's what she said out of her own mouth. Okay, is there anybody else who want to speak on this situation from the camp of Briana's ex-husband? Anybody? Y'all want to step forward? Because when you speak to me, come respectfully because I'm respectful to you guys. I don't sit here and cuss and fuss and all that. I speak regular language. You can do the same with me. Okay? So somebody actually said he did want polygamy. So that's not a good thing, sir. That does not make you a good wife. I'm sorry, a good husband or a good father. Because if you want polygamy, would you want Miss Caroline to be a part of polygamy, Sir Robert? Do you think his daughter? Do you think he wants his daughter in that type situation, baby? I think so. You want to know why? Because I said a man of God, a man that is not of God, doesn't have any scruples or morals. What happened to his last child, his first child, right? She's a mother. She's 18 now, or 19. I don't know which one it is, but I think she's 18 at least. And she'll be 19 this year, I think. And she went out there and she had a baby. Why? Because she thought that she wanted attention, so she became a mother, right? Prematurely. That girl's a baby herself. She got a baby face. It just looks like she still needs some milk. She's a child and she's so unraised. She's just going along with life blindly because her dad thinks all he has to do is make a song and put them on camera and it makes him a great dad. Yeah, unfortunately, that's what he means. That's what he thinks. But anyway, let's go back to what I was saying. So, yes, when we first came into this, of course, we thought Sir Robert was a victim. But y'all ever heard the song "It Takes Two"? It takes two, but yeah, it takes two for a marriage to work, and it also takes two for a marriage not to work. Okay. So I hope that I fit into this thing where you say, if you're trying to teach people, that's fine. That's what he said out of his own mouth, people. He said, if you're trying to teach, that's cool. I think that was pointed towards me because all the other creators just sit there and call her bees all day. Honey, I'm not going to call that girl a bee because I don't talk like that. What in real life? You're not going to call me a bee. I'm not going to call you a bee. I walk around regal. I say nice things. If I cannot say nice things, I don't say anything at all. I'm that type of woman. You get what I'm saying? You're going to speak right to me regardless of whether I'm in the wrong or not. You're going to come to me with love as the Bible requires. If you really wanted the best for this person, then you would not talk the way that she talks. His brother Kyle speaks the same way. Very, very nasty about women and things like that. And then me hearing about his sister Dorothy and the way that she was talking. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to tell you the reason why you guys have problems with your stomachs is because of this anger. A few days ago, I said promiscuity, and we're going to add another one of God's seven deadly sins anger. Because one of his deadly seven sins are lust. Did y'all know that? Promiscuity, lust, kind of the same, right? Yeah. So we're going to say anger. Is it safe to say it's all the seven deadly sins that is causing this riffraff in the wellness of the community of this saga? Let's look it up, shall we? Now, one thing about the seven deadly sins, we also going to go ahead and we're going to talk about, let's see. Let me hold on, you guys. All right, guys. Sorry about that. I don't have anybody in here talking. Oh, I'm sorry. Anybody else talking? That's dishonorable to the covenant. Ray, yes, you're absolutely right. If you're still in here, awesome. If not, I'm sorry, you guys. My thing doesn't refresh. And my husband didn't tell me about that either. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead. What? You said you saw them. I saw one. I didn't see the second one. Oh. All right. So I just said that the reason why, and you guys tap that screen, tap, double tap. Please give your girl more likes. Because I'm going to give energy because my energy comes from God. So my energy is on 10 all the time because of God. But I also have to have bread. So the body doesn't live on bread alone, right? So this channel cannot live on, just that bread alone. It has spirit. But I also need a piece of bread. And the piece of bread is this. You guys tapping the screen twice so I can get likes. That's the piece of bread, okay? But obviously, I don't need the likes. I get fed by God, and you do. You can do the same. But I have to ask, okay? All right. So we're going to talk about the seven deadly sins, and I think Sir Robert, and all of us, don't just. This is not a gang up on Shelby day. We're not trying to gang up on Shelby. What we are trying to do is we're trying to get people delivered. Now, the person who this story is about, they may get delivered and they may not, but it's more people. He's outnumbered. It's not just him, okay? All right. So let's see. The seven deadly sins. Guys, hold on. Okay, so we're going to sit here and we're going to look at the seven deadly sins and how it involves this saga. Because I heard him say out his own mouth that he had to get rid of his stomach because it runs in his family. He said the DNA, the gene, and all that, he carried it. But to God be the glory. God can heal you. We are not our family. We are not our genes. We are not our bloodline. If God can, He's over all of that. Like He can counteract all of that. And so we belong to him. So spiritually, whatever's going on spiritually will basically manifest physically. So it's not because your family has this gene. It's because your family might embody a few of these deadly sins, or what they call seven. That's what it's called, right? Pride. If you guys actually watch this movie, it was called The Devil's Advocate. Okay, at the end, they said vanity, pride, vanity, all that goes together, is the devil's best sin. All you see, that's why y'all call him a narcissist. If you know that narcissists are full of themselves, I mean, that's why he has pictures in his apartment. Like I don't know if he has it now, but he had pictures of him with a wad of money, putting it up to his ear. Sir, that's probably another reason why you have got darn acne, because you're putting dirty money to your face. Do you know where that money could have been? Money is the most filthiest thing out here. Money is completely dirty. Please don't put that on your face. And when you hold cash in your hands, make sure you what? Wash them. Okay, you hear that, Phony Braxton? Don't let that man touch you without what? Washing his hands first, because he loves using a wad of money and use it like a cell phone. You can't say I'm lying because he got the pictures on his wall. Okay, so pride, how you counteract pride is humility. Pride is the spirit of self-exaltation. Does this man not I watched 3-4 hours of a man talking about himself and how good he looks and how good he is and how good of a father he is. He never said he's a good husband, though. He never said he's a good friend. But he will state the obvious. I'm a good father. I'm a good this. I'm a good that. He will sit there and talk about himself for 4 hours. That's pride. The need to be above, yeah, because he feels like he's above God. He said, there is a God. What did he say? I am not God. What did he say? He said something. He is a God. He's not your God. Right. You got it all mixed up. He said, I'm not your God, but I am a God. Sir, God says don't put no other gods above me, including yourself. You can't make yourself a God either. So when people say love yourself, I'm a little leery on that. I don't like saying love yourself. Love God. Put God first, not your children first, not yourself first. I have to speak the language of the world sometimes because I do, promote on social media. I try to talk to the people. But my real spirit, I want to let you guys know, no, love God. Because if you love God, you put God first, everything else will what? Fall into place. When you put God first, he will set your path in the way in the way you should go. It says in the word, if you live right, you'll live longer. So if you want to live long until you're an old person, you must abide by the rules of the Bible. You have to pray, you have to read the word, and you have to apply the word to your life so you can live longer. That's the knowledge that God was talking about. We perish for a lack of knowledge. Now look, we're not saying that the herbs did not help him survive. It says in the word that your food and your herbs shall be your medicine. It says that in the word. But God is the one who allows you to understand that, apply it to keep your flesh going. I am all about holistic herbs. I'm all about that. I do them daily, my husband and I. And I will say, yes, they have helped me live longer. But it's because of God sending me down a route of saying I want to be a holistic practitioner, and me, studying it, and then him telling me to teach it. And it's funny, he had me teach holistic living for years, and now he has me teaching about the spirit. So we talk about the body, we talk about the spirit, and those two cannot be separated, right? Until demise, because it says absent from the body, present with the Lord. We get that, but while we're living, those two cannot be separated, and you be considered alive, right? You get what I'm saying? So I have to talk about both for me to give you a complete nutrient, okay? So let's see. The need to be above, the need to be right, okay? That's pride, okay? To be seen, That's pride. In social media, you guys, you have to be on camera. You have to always be, in someone's face. And that's why God said, I am to be behind the camera, because it's not about how I look. It's not about that. It's about my voice and the words, because the words are going to give you light. Sometimes people get distracted on how you look, because they'll be like, well, you can't talk. I've been there, as far as I've had problems with different things and wellness problems, and that's why I come out and I talk about my issues. So you guys know that I'm not just coming from an emotion. I'm coming from, I know this for a fact. Humility is not self hatred. It is the quiet strength of knowing who you are without needing applause. Okay? So the opposite of pride is humility. And so I think he tried to have a little bit of humility yesterday in his live video when he said that he didn't have education and he didn't finish school. I don't know if he said he didn't finish high school or whatever. I don't know. But I also say that you finishing high school or having degrees, or none of that matters in the at the end of the day. You get what I'm saying? What matters is this. Really, in God's realm, of course, what matters is your faith and your alliance to him. That's what matters, right? Because if you're faithful to him all of your days on this earth, he will be faithful to you all of your days on this earth. You get what I'm saying? That's how it works. That's what it means. And the second thing that really matters, in my opinion, is how you make people feel. So you got your ex-wife here, and she's saying all of these bad things, and I'm sure there were good times. I think about the good time. I'm sure there are good times that they shared together. But unfortunately, when you make somebody feel bad, they remember that and they get stuck there. I feel this. I feel that Miss Brittany, of course, needs to heal from her marriage. Okay? She needs to understand that giving him hate back is not going to change him. It's just not. It's just going to feed what he needs. He needs negativity. Sir Robert needs negativity from this channel. I will not give it to him. First and foremost, I'm a woman of God anyway. And everywhere I walk, even when people offend me, I still say I'm a woman of God and I walk away. God gets me out of the situation, because my anger and my flesh wants to go within their evil, but I cannot do that. So I'm not going to be evil to this man. He's used to anybody who's against him or said something different, that they hate him and they're negative. No, when somebody takes the time out their day to tell you, oh, sir, you might need to do this for your skin, or this is pride is getting in your way, pride is causing you health issues. That's not negative. That's love. It's correction. And the devil's camp does not like correction. They look at correction. It says it in the word. It's not from me. It says a fool doesn't like correction. I mean, it is what it is. And so it's foolish not to take wise counsel. Okay? The second sin or deadly sin is greed. Greed. Greed is in this too. Why? Because he wanted to be what? He wants a polygamy relationship. Right? You guys double tap the screen. Double tap the screen. Greed is the fear of not having enough. So you cling, you hoard, or you chase more. My Lord, I'm greedy then. Ain't that right? Look, one thing about talking about God, honey, look, if you want to talk about somebody else, 10 fingers going to be pointing at you. I'm greedy. I'm going to tell you why. When I get low, I hoard. And that's in the Bible. The Israelites, when they was getting taken out of Egypt and they was going into the promised land or whatever, God provided every day for them. He gave them manna from heaven and things like that, made sure they were okay. After a while, the Israelites started saying, you know what, we're going to save some of this. We're going to save it. And guess what? All of it went bad. The stuff that they saved went bad. I had a situation yesterday, right? I learned that I needed some yogurt, so I bought 2 yogurts at one time. One yogurt, I finished it because my husband helped me finish it. The second yogurt froze in my refrigerator. Why? Because I did not want to what? Run out. It says right here, I hoard food. Yes, I do. If things are getting low, I will stop eating. And God told me, he said, look, you are to not stop eating anymore. Okay, just because I said, well, God, please help me to keep things in. Well, I have to have faith, and faith without works is what, dead. So I got to work, and I have to have faith. But my point is, yeah, I'm greedy. It says it right there. It says the fear of not having enough. I am. Oh shoot! They said the actual fear of not having enough is greed. Oh, 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 oh. Well, maybe I need to put my darn face on this goddamn thumbnail. I didn't know it's about me. I'm getting delivered too, Sir Robert. Thank you. Yes, this story is so enlightening. It's so powerful. It gets everybody delivered. Okay. Greed is the fear of not having enough. So you cling, you hoard, or chase more. Generosity breaks the fear by opening the hand. So one thing that I'm learning is about tithing and offerings and things like that. And so one thing you cannot do, you cannot receive anything if your hand is not open. So you got to give. He said, "Oh well, I'm not going to help anybody out. You know, they're going to stop if the views go down. They're going to stop." No, the mission is different, and God is bigger than you, Sir Robert. You know, when people pulled out of your situation and stopped watching your videos, you panicked, right? You didn't like that type of treatment. So you got to go ahead and what? Treat others the way you want to be treated. Okay? Stop being stingy. Stop looking and wishing people failure when they're not praising you and when they're not talking what you want to hear. Because that is going to ruin your business. Figuratively and literally, spiritually and flesh wise. Okay? So stop being mean to people who don't agree with you. Everyone has to hear the truth. I found out right now that I'm greedy. And so generosity breaks the fear by opening the hand. So when I go live and I talk about this, I'm being generous with my time because I know that people need to hear this message in this climate of where money is tight, things are changing, everything is what? Raising, the prices are raising up. And so we need to have the Lord in our lives to help us get through these tough times. Not alcohol, not smoking. All of that stuff adds pressure and problems. Okay? So giving something meaningful without expecting return, and I guess that's what God has me doing to still do what I need to do in this field of commentary as far as the saga, even when I'm not having a return, right? My return is through God. It's not monetary, but it is monetary. He's providing me a space to talk and to get myself out there with his help, right? Practice gratitude for what you already have and bless someone financially or emotionally in secret. Spiritual truth, when you release God, replaces. So if you're holding on to something, it's saying that you don't have faith that God will restore or replace. Okay? So, in the Bible, there's a woman, she said, "Look, I have enough food for my son and myself to eat." And he said, I don't know who the man was. Who was the man? Was it Jesus? The man who said, "Fix me some bread," and she said she didn't have enough. Well, anyway, he said, "If you feed me today, your flour will never run out." And so that's what that is, guys. That's what it's about. Okay, you guys, tap the screen, tap the screen. Uh, babe, who are these people in here? They gotta be somebody who is emotionally invested in this.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the numbers ain't dropping. And they ain't growing either, but they ain't dropping.
Welcome to the chat. Hello, everyone. If you guys are new, say hello to the chat. Yeah, they're. I don't. If they're not talking, I don't know if they're on. If they're for Robert, if they're for Brittany, or if they're on the side of right or
Right.
truth. We don't know. If you're on the side of truth, say hello.
Yeah. Okay, so the third one is lust. Okay? Purity of heart is the opposite. So lust is the desire detached from honor, covenant, or responsibility. So when he introduced polygamy into his marriage, that's lust. No woman's going to stand there and be there for you and all you want is another woman. Look, I'm gonna tell you, Miss Brittany said, look, Miss Brittany, she can shake it. Look, what is it? Shake it fast. Watch yourself. Shake it fast. Show me what you're working with. He had Miss Shake It Fast. He had a woman that was mighty fertile, meaning she can have a baby at a drop of a dime. I don't know if she could cook. Can't have it all. That's what we always say. But she felt like she matched what he wanted, which is a beautiful woman and a woman who was good in bed. Boom, she fit that, right? And then you say, oh, you know what? I want some polygamy. What?
And I heard Robert talk about it. Not polygamy,
Uh,
but talk about infidelity leading being breaking the covenant.
yeah, well, he broke the covenant. Even look. This is why people don't want to read the word, because it says even if it's in your heart, you've cheated. You don't even have to act on something. If you thought about it, you have to ask God for forgiveness. So I'm gonna tell you, if you thought about cheating on somebody, if you thought about taking somebody out, if you will, I ain't talking about taking them out on a date. I'm talking about take them out. Okay. If you thought about any of that, like I actually thought about pushing one of my, I didn't think, I actually dreamt about it, about pushing my aunt down the steps. I didn't think about it. I'm sorry, the enemy, which the enemy has to ask for permission. I thought about that. I woke up, I said, Lord, my gosh, that was the most horriblest dream. I mean, I don't like this particular aunt, but I wouldn't want to push her down the steps. I knew that that was not right. There's times that I've had dreams that are not savory, and I had to immediately get up and ask God to forgive me for them and to remove the enemy from my dreams. Because the thing about it is, the enemy is always thinking. He'll say, if he can't get you when you're lucid, he'll try to get you when you what? Sleeping. You get what I'm saying? So you always gotta know that the enemy is trying his best to make it in. No, the enemy is trying his best to get you from whatever you're trying to do that is godly. This, let's understand. Marriage is God's covenant. That's what it is. Man and woman getting married is God's
It's
covenant.
God's
The
covenant.
enemy was like, what? These two worldly people that were not saved, obviously. Okay, you got, they're unevenly yoked. Let's just keep it 100. Why? Because Miss Brittany does believe in God and her husband doesn't. Did she find that out in 30 days? I doubt it. She probably learned that when she signed on the dotted line on this marriage, and she found out that this man did not believe in God. Well, you can't believe in God if you want to go against what God said, which is be faithful to one another. He wanted to follow his what? His brother, Kyle slash Prince Uchi. You get what I'm saying? He wanted to go ahead and follow Kyle's way. Okay? Who taught them about polygamy? Was it the father? Was it his mom? I doubt it, because he said he lost his mom at 5. So the only thing that could have been bred within him is polygamy through the what? The
The father.
spiritual line. The mother.
Oh, to the
The
mother?
mother had several baby daddies.
Oh.
This is why he dates women with children. I thought it was because he didn't want the stress of having children, but it's because it's in him. That demon is in him that is greedy and wants multiple women. Okay? They were not in a polygamy, but yes, he asked, and that is what started everything. She did not want to do that, but he wanted to follow his brother.
If it
Well,
went
yeah,
to
we understand, Miss Ladybug. We understand he wasn't in a
his
polygamy,
brother is
but he
a
wanted
polygamist.
polygamy.
Yeah.
That's the
And
point.
so I feel like it follows through the father, because how do you explain his brother?
Well, they're brothers, so it's easily for me to take it to you and say, look, bro, X, Y, and Z. So was the brother polygamy? I guess he was polygamy first. Who's the oldest? Can somebody tell me that from the camp of Brittany's ex-husband? That's what you guys are called. I have to stand out from everyone else. From the Brittany camp or ex-husband camp, who is oldest? Is it Kyle or is it Robert?
RH is the
I
oldest.
thumbs up the live. You are speaking true. Thank you so much for thumbsing up the live, because as you can see, the thumbs up are starving because everybody in here wants me to be so mean and nasty, and they're looking for something I'm going to say so they can say, look at this. She's that, yeah. Nope, you ain't going to catch me, baby. Because God got me wrapped up in his hands so tight. All right, what else you got to say?
Yeah, we heard RH say when they were about to separate, when they were about to divorce, that Brittany broke the covenant, and so the marriage is over. What makes polygamy any different? That's an outside.
Brittany broke the covenant.
That's what he said.
I'm gonna tell you this. I told my husband this,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't take any of the credit. God
Yeah.
has let me know through His Word that this is true. The man of the house, the head of the household, is also the head of the decisions. So if the husband is cheating, the wife is gonna follow if she does not know God, because it also says this: we as women, we are supposed to submit to our husbands only when our husbands is submitting to the Lord. So if our husband is going out here saying polygamy, he's cheating, he's doing things that are ungodly, us as women are not supposed to follow that. We're supposed to pray for him to get delivered. Okay? Now, I don't know if you guys knew that. Shoot, I didn't know it. So the thing about it is, let's go back to Adam and Eve, shall we? Right? The woman took the first bite, right? And then Adam went on and followed. That's why in the word it says this. And I'm not saying Eve is evil or anything. I'm not saying it was Eve evil. Wow. But anyway, I'm not saying that. But she wasn't strong. She's the first woman on earth, right? She did not, have the strength to tell the enemy, no, I'm not going to take that bite of the apple, the knowledge, whatever you guys want to call it. And he followed. So when you're married, when you're cleaved together, you're generally going to follow one another. There are times, I'm going to tell you, when my husband and I first got married, okay, before we got married, he had a taste for women of the of
Excuse me.
not the
What?
night,
Huh?
but women of the stripper pole. Okay, is that safe to say, y'all? Okay, I did not meet him in the stripper pole, honey. I
You
was
did
not a
not,
stripper. I was a good girl.
and that's what I
But
like.
my husband, he likes the booty bars. It is what it is. It is what it is. He was a young man. He did not know better.
I didn't know
I'll
any
let
better.
you tell it. So what happened?
Well, I didn't know what to do with myself or my time, and so and I had no idea that. Um, well, I can't I can't claim complete innocence because I knew I had a feeling that it was wrong, but I didn't know what to do with my time.
Oh, he knew what to do with his time.
Yeah.
His flesh was weak, and he loved a big booty, and that's what men like. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Farrakhan said you're more than just your booty, whatever. But I'm just saying, like, he had a weakness for that. So when we were married, we got married. I was all of 22 or whatever. I said, you know what? For my husband's birthday, I said, let's go to the strip club.
And I said,
And
no, that's not why I married you. I
but
didn't
I
want.
say this to
Yeah.
say I insisted us go to the strip club, and he did listen. And I say this because if you're not strong enough if you're not strong enough in the Lord, the man is going to follow what the woman does, and the woman is going to follow what the man does. And so that situation did happen.
So
We
you're
went
in
to
like a
the
pattern and keeping
yeah.
yourself in a bad situation.
Yeah, baby. We went to the
Yeah.
strip club. We gave the girl $20, and
Enabling, right? Enabling,
can I
right?
tell the story?
Ah. All right. You
Can I
can
tell
tell.
the story?
Go
Because
ahead
this
and
is
tell it.
delivery.
Go. Okay.
This is
Go.
deliver. This could
Go
get
ahead.
somebody
Maybe.
delivered or
Yes. Maybe
stop
it'll
them
help
from
someone.
doing it. It will help
It
somebody.
will. If we help one
God didn't
person.
allow that to happen
Yeah.
for us not to help somebody with that
If it
story.
helps one person, that's all that matters.
We have been delivered from that spirit, by the way. He doesn't go
Thank you,
to
Jesus. Yes.
strip clubs or anything like that anymore because we have been what? Quarantined our whole life. I work with this man and everything. I don't let him out of my sight. But anyway, that's neither
And
here
sometimes the spirits
nor.
out there will tell you you don't belong. We went in there one day and they said, "Why are you here? You don't belong here." Basically.
We went there. We paid $20. I seen the little whatever. He got a lap dance. It was the most ridiculous thing ever in my life. It made me feel bad. And when we left, we said to each other, "We will never do that
And again,
again." And
yeah.
that was over
And we
20
asked
plus
the
years
Lord for
ago.
forgiveness. Yeah.
And we asked the Lord for forgiveness just recently, didn't we?
Recently, yeah.
Let's just keep
Back
it
then
real.
and recently.
I'm gonna tell
Yeah.
you, we always praying to God to deliver
Yes.
this family from demonic things that happened in our life,
It's in the Lord's
happened
prayer.
in our what
Deliver us from evil.
family,
Yeah. It's in the Lord's prayer. Deliver us from evil, right?
deliver us from evil. Not Eva, evil.
Ah,
Okay? So I'm just saying, yeah. So my point is this, and husband, you can cut in whenever you want. Um, Whatever the man does, the woman will follow. So if he wants polygamy, and look, nobody in here lived in their home, correct? Can y'all guys hear me? Can they hear me? Can you hear me on your phone? Because I'm sitting back from the speaker.
Can they hear me? Can you hear me on your?
Oh
Yes.
my voice is loud. Okay. We
Hey,
we
Chad, how
weren't
you doing?
living we weren't living in that household, correct? So we don't know what he did with that information when it looked like his wife turned down two things. Turned down polygamy and turned down
Oh, I got some tea.
buying groceries.
I got some tea though.
Hello?
I got okay, okay, all right.
Buying
All right, you have some
groceries.
tea, but I got some tea in the
Hmm.
chat.
She
I got some
okay, that's
tea
fine.
for
She
you.
okay, she
Okay.
turned that down too. Look, if you didn't shake your tail so much, baby, me and you could talk. Talk. I wouldn't be around you, darling, because you're not gonna put me to shame. Cause I don't dance like that, and my body ain't like that either. All right, and I'm not into it. But my point is, for a woman who is a person who's been there and out there, and for her to say no, I'm not gonna do polygamy. Why doesn't she want to do polygamy? Because that's supposed to be her man. I don't want to share my man, even though I took him to I didn't know no better. I thought that's what he wanted.
That's not what I wanted.
Yeah, that's what he said.
That's why I got married.
See, that's my point. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He said he got married because he didn't want that
Yeah, if
lifestyle,
I
right?
wanted that, why would I get married?
Well, exactly. So why, if she wanted polygamy, why would she get married?
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like she wanted a real relationship with him.
Okay, what tea you got in the comments?
Okay, someone said he broke the covenant because he was cheating. That's the that's why the fight started. She found text messages from the woman he met at the mall. Isn't he always with somebody at the mall?
Darn, at the mall, at the pool, and online. Man,
Oh,
grow up. You got the brain of a 17-year-old. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, I
uh,
mean, we all know that he broke
hanging
the.
out at the mall, right?
Yeah, I mean, teenagers do that.
Yeah.
That's why he likes younger women because he feels like he can kind of train them. And it's not just him. There's a lot of men out here who just like, younger women, 21 and up. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Because they like to control the situation and feel like, they have more life experience. But from what I understand, she had children when she came to him. She had moved and she had been through some things. She grew up physically fast, may not mentally, but physically. Homegirl had to fend for herself. So when she got with Sir Robert, she was time enough for him. And let's clap that she said no to polygamy, because if you just go ahead and you watch The Polygamist on Netflix, you will see where polygamy will, I'm not going to say could, will lead you. And so she's still here shaking it up, and things like that, and it's because she knew better to not have polygamy. Because the thing about it is, he said that he's in a Tubi movie called The Clinic, but would he take those women to the clinic before anything happened? No. The answer would be no. The answer would be no, RH Camp. He would not
He's
have
not taking them to the
made that
clinic.
lady that they bring into their boudoir have an STD
The
panel
test.
done.
Oh wow,
No, he
yeah.
wouldn't. And so he would open himself up to things as well as his wife. And so for that, that's why we're not meant to do that, because that's not smart. It's not of God. And we're not going to do that. All right, so let's go
Did
ahead and
it?
double tap the screen, huh?
Did he not know that the covenant is spiritual and physical?
Yeah, no, they don't. And we didn't either.
Mm.
We learning through what? Reading the word. Gluttony. Okay? Gluttony is excess not to just food, but anything you use to fill emotional emptiness, including alcohol. Okay? Self control is spirit led discipline that protects your future. So the way that you heal gluttony is self control. And so he didn't have self control. He doesn't have any kind of respect for his wife to say, go ahead and buy groceries. We know y'all know about the groceries. Yeah, when I heard that, I was thought that that was very disrespectful. Allegedly, that's what went down, and she had to say, "No, actually, I'm sorry, I'm
He
sorry."
said it also.
I actually heard a clip of him saying it
Yeah.
because the lady that I listened to had the receipts. We won't have receipts on this channel because, honey, I don't need these problems. So you just gonna have to trust me for what I said, honey. There is a recording out here of Robert asking his wife to buy groceries, and she said, "No, I'm not doing that. That is a what? An exit, not an entry." Miss Brittany, if you, I'm clapping for you. Ain't nobody clapped for you for 4 years, baby. Everybody on this darn internet, they sitting here and they rolling you through the mud and you just taking it like a boss. Like this girl, look, I was made fun of at 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. I was mistreated by other kids. I was one of those type people. And I would cry at a drop of a dime. This girl, I gotta give it to her. She's strong, and she will throw darts back, and she will cuss your butt out, and yeah, she will say she a pappy. But the girl is strong, y'all. She really is, and no, she ain't paying me for this. That girl ain't paying me for nothing. She wouldn't pay me because I'm correcting her too. She doesn't want to hear correction. She said it out of her own eyes. I'm sorry, own mouth. You get what I'm saying? She no, she's not paying me. I'm team God. I'm for Jesus Christ. You feel me? I'm just saying that there are wrongs and rights on both sides. So this darn camp that is all on his side looks fake. The RH camp are fake and they're phony and they're fraudulent. Oh God. You guys are fake. Because I will tell my husband I love him. But I will tell him when he's wrong in a split second.
Yeah, you will. And you know, we're supposed to correct each other, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all gotta
Correction is love.
correction is love. If you
Yeah.
really love this man, you would tell him to stop drinking.
Mm.
Yes. What's wrong with that? Y'all want him to be alive and well for many, many years, right? You hear this, Robert? These people don't really like you, and you should know that because you pay them. Okay, anyway, let's go. Healing practice. Slow down and ask, what am I really hungry for? Create gentle routines, tea, prayer, journaling. Practice stopping when you're satisfied, not stuffed. That's gluttony. Stop when, look, stop at one woman, please. Okay? That's all you can handle. You can't, you are not Solomon. You're not one of the biblical men back there. You don't like the Bible, but the Bible got some great stories, got some great men in it. And I'm going to tell you, if you think you are Solomon, Solomon had 1,000 wives. Half of them was all political. He had 700 concubines. And God even told him he wasn't supposed to multiply wives. So you're living in a lie. Y'all guys are kind of like rewording the word to fit your narrative. Stop doing that because you ultimately supposed to be living for the Lord. So you do that, live right so you can be with him forever. They say hell is hot. They say whatever your issue was on earth, hell gonna keep you in that situation, in that bondage, right? It is your that in and of itself, I don't want to go there. I really don't. And so that's why I have to be obedient to the Lord and get this word out there no matter what. All right. So 6 is wrath. Wrath, right? All right. Wrath is anger that has become destructive, explosive, and vengeful. We all know that he's spiteful. We all know that he mad at his wife. Y'all keep saying that he left her. Okay, so why are you so mean to her? Why are you getting all these people to call her bees, this, that, and the other, getting your sister to scoff at her? If you left her, why are you getting all of these people to talk against her? Let that girl live. Whatever she has, whatever her problems she has, God will deal with it. And you go forth and God will deal with you. Stop looking back at your wife. Because stop doing that. Let's just keep it real. You only filed those papers for custody because you wanted to make her life miserable. You know darn well you're not getting full custody. You know what I mean? you know darn well that you ain't getting full custody. You're doing this to make her life a living heck, which they said that she has a text or a letter that actually says that you are going to make her life a living heck. And if that's your mission, then you're not going to be able to grow, heal, move forward, and it's really going to cause you all kinds of problems in your life. You got to release that. You got to repent. You got to repent. This lady that you with now or whatever, that's a cover up. That's a cover up for what for what you really feel and live. I'm just keeping it real. I don't know. I'm just saying. All right. All right. So, patience and peace restore emotional stability. All right? Yes. All right. 7, sloth. Lazy. Sloth is spiritual or emotional laziness, avoiding responsibility, purpose, or growth. You're avoiding all the things that you did in that marriage and saying that you're not accountable for it. That is slothfulness, okay? All right. So, I'm going to ask you guys, I'm going back to this thing saying we're all Simba. We're looking up at the darn, what is it, cliff, and we're seeing Mufasa falling off the cliff. And at first we thought he fell on his own, but then later on we found that Scar threw him off of the cliff. So at first, it was always meant to feel like Miss Brittany is the bad person. Miss Brittany left him. Miss Brittany is the scarlet letter. She cheated on Robert. Didn't Miss Vivica buy that? Miss Vivica left that relationship totally different, and her eyes were peeled, and she realized it was all a fake. What she said, it was all what? Transactional. Okay? And so now we see that, no, Robert, what? He set the tone. Didn't Scar set the whole thing up for Simba to get mollywopped by the hyenas? Huh? When all them hyenas was up in there and things like that, and he went through the what? He went through the elephant graveyard, and his daddy said, don't do it. He said, oh, your daddy said don't do it. Scar was the devil. He's speaking to a child, right? He's speaking to somebody who doesn't know. He said, yeah. He said, oh, then that means you scared. All the big, strong people go into the graveyard. So he went there. He set the whole tone for Simba to go down into the graveyard. And then he was like, after Mufasa, the protection was gone. You get what I'm saying? Because that's what parents are. You're supposed to protect your children. Well, the protection was gone. And he said, get them, and they chased them through there and all that. And then we saw what? We saw Mufasa come through there and do the do, right? He said, cleared it up. He cleared them all up. He thought that his roar Simba thought that his roar scared the hyenas, and who was behind him? Mufasa. Hello, Mufasa is like it represents God to me. As far even though God is living, but as far as that, sometimes we go out there and we fighting battles and we talking, and all the while you think people looking at you when they really looking at the God in you who is really fighting your battles. But anyway, he said nobody messes with your dad and all that. But at the end of that scene, we saw Scar standing on the goddamn plateau looking like, God darn, I thought that y'all was going to get this cub. But he had the protection of God around him, and it didn't happen. And so I think that's what it was. When Miss Brittany, I have a video up on this channel. And now that I'm talking about this, I'm realizing what she said. She said at one time, she wasn't sure how long she was going to want to be here. Right? She said that out her own mouth. He wanted her. Can you imagine the words that was pumped into her head? Do you imagine that he said to her, you're nothing without me. Nobody knew you before me. You ain't got no talent. The only talent you got is your body. Can you imagine the words alone that this man said to Miss Brittany to lead her down the path in which she is now? Because I'm going to tell you, they just did a video. Both of them said words don't hurt. And she said, yeah, words do hurt. And the Bible says faith and what is it? The tongue is what? What does it say? Life and death is in the power of the tongue, right? So you're darn right. Words have life and they also have demise. And if you're speaking negativity to somebody every day, that's your husband. See, women, we are receivers. We're receivers in all things you can think of. We absorb emotion. We absorb the emotion of our husbands. We absorb the emotion of our children. We absorb the emotions of worldly things. If bad news come, it goes to your gut. It goes to your womb. If we have trauma happen to us, the first thing that is attacked is our womb. We are the life source. And so if we're around somebody negative every day, all day, it will take us down. But God, Jesus the Christ, He is right there waiting for you to say, please take this away from me. Please take this trauma away from me. It is not my fault that I was X, Y, and Z. I'm talking like her because she said it. It's not your fault, Miss Brittany, that somebody mistreated you as a child. It is not your fault that this man that you married manipulated you and lied to you and lying is not just what you say, it's what you don't say. Because I'm sure if that man asked her to basically buy his groceries and have polygamy in the beginning before the sign on the dotted line, homegirl would have twerked herself right on up out that room and said, no, I ain't doing that. She wouldn't even married him. But baby Caroline is here. She's 7. She's not even a baby anymore. She's a little girl. She's here and all that, and we get it. But if he had said the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, that woman with the mind that she had would have not taken him serious and not married him. She might have been his girlfriend. She might have had some fun with him. She might have built some content. But she would not have married him if that man introduced that type of lifestyle in the beginning. It's not your fault, girlfriend, Miss Brittany, that this man completely lied. And for that, you must heal. You have to heal. You cannot keep giving this man what he needs, which is to make you look bad. Nobody can make nobody look bad, first of all. Okay? But she still has this lifestyle because this man fed it. He took a woman who went to him to get saved, and he basically manipulated her and made that vessel in her become more of a Jezebel. So I called her a Jezebel a lot. That was the best. That was the lowest. The worst thing I called her, which was actually accurate, was a Jezebel. But a Jezebel has to be what? Taught. And so she was taught to be a Jezebel at 5 by probably not being treated right. Her parents had broke up. I'm just letting y'all know what I'm learning from the saga. So the research that y'all feel like I need, I don't. I have a lot of information in me. Thanks be to God. But yeah, she was mistreated as a child. She became a mother at 17, 18 years old. She had to fend for herself. Her dad was living his life. It was not the best. We hear some things. I'm not going to say anything of that. If you know, you know. And then her mom had a spirit of kleptomaniac. Her mom was a klepto, I guess, allegedly. And so these are her parents. So instead of just, on this channel, we're not gonna bash this lady. We're gonna be like, come out of that situation. I don't know if it can happen. She's 35 years old or whatever. But age has nothing to do with it. If the girl wants to learn and get better, she can. If she doesn't, hopefully somebody else will get the message that I just said as far as Jesus can heal you from that. So, yeah. And so when someone is speaking in that type of tone to you, that is going to debilitate you. You are going to feel like you're nothing. But now God has actually showed him that she doesn't need him to flourish. That girl has 3 million followers. Okay? She puts out a video of her dancing, it gets millions of views. A man that taught her that she's nothing without him, unfortunately, will be jealous and he will be scarred. And so all his moves now, publicly, is going to look like, oh, I'm innocent, but we know better than that. She said it in the video that I have on this channel. She says that, yeah, he says one thing publicly, and then behind the scenes, he's getting people to what? Bash her. I was wondering why some of these content creators are so emotionally involved. Like, they're calling her bees, like this girl took her man. Now, I did hear on one of the content creators videos saying that she said out her own mouth that she would take one of the content creators' men. And she said that, you're going to have to wash that off and say homegirl don't know me like that. She ain't gonna take my man. You get what I'm saying? And pray about it and keep it moving. I laugh at that. Why? Because the girl don't know no better. I mean, to be honest, if the man is full of God and he knows better, he wouldn't look at that type of woman one iota. He might look and then realize, nah. You get what I'm saying? It is what it is. So I wouldn't take that to heart. I think it's because these girls are constantly talking about her. She has crossed it, crossed the line of this is personal, and she's pretty much saying whatever the heck she wants to say. Somebody said, "Oh, she slept with a pastor." Well, pastors are human beings. They're full of the devil. A lot of these pastors out here ain't real pastors, because if you really looked at the requirements to be a pastor, none of these pastors fit it. Bible actually has that in the word of what a pastor has to be, which is someone who stands apart from the world, that he doesn't have problems with the flesh. So a Jezebel spirit needs a partner. And so if the man didn't sleep with her, she wouldn't have slept with him. It is what it is. These men are weak as heck. They need the word, okay? They need the word. All right. Now, is anything Miss Penny says, agree with this statement. I'm glad that you can see it. Thank you, Miss Penny. Okay? And your words are worth more than a penny. Is your name Millicent? Is that your real name? Don't tell me. Okay, so anyway, you guys, y'all let me know how y'all feel about what I said. I said a lot. As you can see, my voice is like, ooh, because I'm using my voice a lot today. But I just feel like, yeah, that's what we're gonna talk about from here on in until the trajectory is changed, until God says, okay, talk about another entity. But this channel was to be open also to give Miss Brittany a voice. Miss Brittany doesn't have a voice, and when I say a voice, Miss Brittany doesn't know how to speak up for herself. And I urge Miss Brittany, within God's help, and leave your video up when you do this, okay? Leave it up. Guys, don't snap it, because the girl's going to strike your channel if you take it. Ain't that right, babe? Because this girl actually listens to me, I think. Come out, just like this random channel is coming out and bringing out the darn, bring out the helmets, bring out the best. We bringing it up again, and we starting from the beginning, because if you really can't start this without going back, girl, go out and tell your what you feel about your man. I mean, I'm sorry, what you think about your ex-husband in a nice, clean way. I remember when this happened back in the day. She had to come out and retract it. Why did she redact her statement? Was it in her heart, or did her ex-husband, or then still husband, when she stated it, did he tell her to do it? We all watch Lifetime. We all watch true crime. We all watch TV. Did this woman do this on her own, or was she suggested by her husband to redact this statement? Because she said, and he said, that his image is everything. Image is just that. It does not mean it's true. Okay? People act different on the camera all of the time. Who they really are, you will never know, because you don't know them personally. Okay? So I'm going to say there is a possibility that her husband at the time told her don't to go out and apologize, because this shaking the booty lady now, right now, she like, I don't have to go through that. She said it first. She said it many times. She said, I'm not under that no more. I'm free. In one shape, form, or fashion, she said that. And she can do what she wants, because that's not her husband no more. That's why he put her under these stipulations that they can't say each other's names. They can't, but she knows how to get around that. You get what I'm saying? She could tell how she felt in her marriage. I think. I'm not trying to get you in trouble, girl. But whatever you can say, free yourself up. Because if you free yourself up of all the things that happen to you as a woman, as a wife, as a mom, what you've had to go through, what you're going through now, it will cause this twerking demon that's within you to lose power. Instead of twerking your booty, twerk your communication skills, my darling. Twerk that and see where that gets you. Because we all want to know, who is Brittany outside of the shaking the booty, outside of the mom of six, outside of the woman who has several baby daddies. I want to know who you are outside of what the people on this saga is trying to put a fine light on. Because I know it's more. I know. I feel like right now I'm trying to tell you, dig deeper. Like Ike Turner did to Tina Turner in that movie. Lawrence Fishburne and Angela Bassett, and she was singing. And he said a little rougher. She said, and Jennifer Lewis said, "How rough you want it?" She sounded like a man. That's what I want, darling. I might turn her right now in that spirit. Lawrence Fishburne back. I'm Lawrence Fishburne. I'm Laura Fishburne. And I'm telling you right now, dig deeper. Okay? I'm telling you to sing rougher. I'm telling you to be a woman of your word and be a woman and stand on what you say. And when you go live, keep the content up. Keep it up. So all these people who are calling you bees and all these people that's calling you out of your name, because baby, you are not your body. You are not the BBL. You are not all of the men people think you slept with. You are not this booty shake. You are more than that, Miss Brittany. I'm speaking life to you. And I pray that you what? Hello, Miss Cherise. Hi. I'm speaking life into this woman because nobody else is doing so. um the content creators have children, don't they? We have families, correct? Would you want somebody to talk the way y'all talk about this woman, about your daughter? I know one content creator will she'll nuck if you buck if you talk about her daughter, right? Nah, because she probably called her own daughter a B, and I'm sure her daughter called her a B. All you doing is showing what goes on in your heart when you calling this girl out her name. We as women, we have all had to learn how to take care of our hygiene. If it wasn't for my grandmom telling me about a little tablespoon of bleach will keep your man to reach, I wouldn't know that. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. I just told y'all something y'all can do. If y'all want to know more about that, let me know, cause I will what tell y'all. Uh-huh. If my grandmama didn't say that I'm meant for one man and only one man only, this is not a goddamn 7-Eleven. I'm not supposed to go out here and spread your wings and fly. You can be a butterfly like that, Mariah. No, 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 no. I ain't supposed to spread my wings for everybody. This woman was not taught that. And so this is the woman that's going to teach that. Because I'm a Proverbs 31 woman. You know what I mean? And I'm going to show you what God's people do. We love through the issues. What if God, as soon as we did something, he said, man, and started treating you the way you treat this girl? You wouldn't be here. God said, no, nah, I'm going to work with it. And so everybody, you can say publicly or privately, you can say, thanks be to God. Thank you, God, for grace and mercy. Thank you, God, for having mercy on me. Even when I didn't know better, you did not leave me. You did not forsake me. You did not turn your back on me. When I was out there with every goddamn man who ever called me beautiful, you were right there to protect my body from any STDs. You protected my body from any kind of injury. Thank you, Lord, for saving me. Oh, thank you, Lord, for not acquiring all the baby daddies that this young lady has. But use her story and help her and stop hindering her and stop speaking that over her. Because what goes around comes around. There will be a time where somebody will call you a bee. There will be a time where somebody will treat you bad at your worst hour. Would you want that?